Hi there, Pajama Grandma, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. In case you haven't met yet, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. Then I know it's the first time that you are seeing my face or hearing my voice. Today is day 187 of the Daily Scare Share. Doing one thing a day that scares me or stretches my comfort zone from the book. Do one thing a day that scares you. I know it's backwards. I haven't figured out how to flip the phone around so that it shows up in the right direction for you yet. I know there's a way to do that because I've seen people doing it, but I haven't looked into it. I will do that eventually, before the 365 days are up, but so far it hasn't gotten to my radar in 187 days. So today is one of those interesting yes and no days. So today is yes, tomorrow is no. And today says, handy dandy magnifying glass, yes. Today I said yes to a responsibility. And that got me to thinking, what percent of X or Y or Z is actually my responsibility? What percent of a relationship is my responsibility? What percent of my business is my responsibility? What percent of my reactions is my responsibility? What percent of my thinking is my responsibility? What percent of my reactions is my responsibility? What percentage of my life is my responsibility? And I guess I'd like to ask you that question today. What percent of these things do you currently believe right now in your gut is your responsibility? What percentage of your personal intimate relationship, whether you're married or single or dating or whatever, what percent of that relationship is your responsibility? People have a lot of differing thoughts and feelings and beliefs. What percentage of your beliefs are your responsibility? Now, things come to us and we think thoughts and we're impacted by things outside of us all the time, right? We're always inundated with information and news and broadcasts and advertisements and messages of all sorts and stimuli of all sorts. But what percentage of all of that outside of us is our responsibility? Well, I will say that, to me, 100% of what's outside of me is not my responsibility. So 0% of what happens around me and outside of me is not my responsibility. And I can already hear people arguing with that. And I will say that 100% of what goes on inside of me is my responsibility. So my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs, my opinions, what I say and what I do, what actions I take or don't take, what opportunities I take or don't take advantage of, how I feel about something, what I say about something, how I act in any given moment and instant is always 100% my responsibility. I can't control anything outside of me. I can't control, the weather was a good example yesterday. I can't control the weather. I can't control what other people think, say, or do, but I can always control what I do. I might not always choose to control it, but I always have the ability to control it. And that's really hard for a lot of people to think about. So today, what will you say yes to? What responsibility will you say yes to? Maybe you've been saying no to it up until now. I have a couple of things like that I can think of in my life that I just haven't been doing. I've been procrastinating on or ignoring. I know they're my responsibility. I know I need to say yes to them. I know I need to do them. I just haven't made that choice to do them. But today I'm going to say yes to at least one of them. And it's my responsibility to take responsibility for that and to do it and to take an action with respect to that. So what can you say yes to today? What do you think about this? Do you agree that our thoughts, our businesses, our lives... Now, I'm talking if you own your own business, of course. If you don't own your own business and you've got a job, your job area, the thing that you've signed up to do, the thing they're paying you to do, that's 100% your responsibility. And you can blame, and I mean, I've been known to blame other people for things or blame time or the weather or things outside of myself for things. It's human nature. But it doesn't mean I'm right. I mean, I know that it's my responsibility to decide how I'm going to respond to everything. And although our thoughts and beliefs and feelings come from all different places and they are affected and stimulated by outside things, it's always our choice. We always get to decide how we're going to react, what we're going to do. And I will also contend that our percentage of responsibility for every single relationship we're in, our intimate relationships, our relationships with our children, our relationships with our bosses, our relationships with our co-workers, our peers, our partners, did I say children? Our children, our friends. Our percent of responsibility for that relationship is always 100%. I know a lot of people in their marriages think that the relationship should be 50-50, but if you're each only giving 50% to the relationship, guess what? That relationship's going to fail. If you're each giving 100% with no expectations of anything in return, you're just giving 100% of what you're capable of giving to that relationship will succeed. It's when somebody feels like they're giving too much and the other person isn't giving enough. Again, you're 100% responsibility for that feeling and that choice and that belief. Even if the outside evidence is real, you're 100% responsibility for what you do about the evidence and what you do. And in our businesses, a lot of times we blame the economy, we blame the environment. I mean, read any annual report of any corporation on the planet. All the excuses of why they did not meet their target or why they exceeded their target. It's all a bunch of outside influences and excuses. And what do you think of that? Is that okay? Is that not okay? Is that the way you live your life? Is that the way you want to live your life? Because guess what? You can be like everybody else. You don't have to take 100% responsibility for yourself and your actions and your feelings and your beliefs and what you say and do. You don't have to. Nobody's going to make you. But I will contend that you always know whether you're doing that or not. You know within yourself if you're lying to yourself and other people. Because we can lie and fool ourselves for a little while, but we can never keep it up long term. Unless we've got some kind of a mental deficiency or some kind of a disorder like narcissism or something that allows us to not be able to clearly understand, even at a subconscious level, what's going on with ourselves. It's kind of a deep topic today, right? Didn't even think it was, but I have a lot of strong feelings about taking responsibility and taking 100% responsibility for ourselves. And I know that there's a couple areas in my life I have been slacking, and I will begin to repair that today. Go out, make it a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow with another Daily Scare Share. Bye. Have fun.